I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeking Out. Here we go. Court day has come, court day has gone, and court day can just stay in the rear view for a while. It's been an eventful month for us, I guess. I did get the our last episode of Geeking Out, but hadn't even started on our other Halloween episode of Back Rack Video yet. But it's coming. It's coming. Just patience. It's coming. It'll be out before Halloween. In the meantime, there's all kinds of things going on because I know Chris has been following the news stuff as he always does, but we've been talking about Disney falling apart at the seams for weeks and weeks now, and months, years. They posted for some reason, I guess they're trying to shop ESPN and see if they can get somebody to buy it. We talked about ESPN a couple of weeks ago because Annie Franny doesn't want to pay $20 a month for ESPN anymore. So Disney put out their financials for ESPN, and they made $1.35 billion in profit last year, which sounds pretty good until you consider the fact that was a year ago, and it's only going downhill from there. And it used to be a lot more than that. That used to be Disney's cash cow, and now it's just like and just rolling right along the ground. Sad. So trying to find out if they can find a sucker who will buy ESPN before it goes completely bankrupt, because apparently in the next year or two, their football contract, their NFL contract be up, the college football contract be up, the NBA contract be up, and I think there's some other professional sports thing they got on there. All of these are expiring, and they're not going to be able to afford to renew them. So, tisk, but see what happens. Chris, what have we got in the news for me to grump about?
Okay, so today, what we are going to be talking about, we got some news items, but we also have a movie review.
We have a review.
Yes.
Okay, which movie did you actually see? Because I honestly have no idea what's coming out in theaters because I care so little. I did find out season 4 of The Chosen will be starting in February. It goes theatrical release. It's going to go through Fathom Events, and it's going to, first 3 episodes of season 4 hit February 1st of 2024. And then seasons 4 to 6 are on the 15th, and episodes 7 and 8 will be on the 29th. And in related news, yes, 2024 is a leap year. So now you know that. Okay. So you got a movie. Which movie is it you're reviewing?
Killer of the Flower Moons, or Killers of the Flower Moon.
Well, we just had spaghetti, so I need a nap. In the meantime, you want to do the review first, or you want to do the news stuff first?
Well,
let's get the review knocked out. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is review for
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Flowers of the Killer Moon. Gotcha.
This is the new Martin Scorsese.
You are. He's on spaghetti bolognese hangover right now.
I'm so sorry. Martin Scorsese. Oh boy.
Ironically, it's the garlic bread, I think, that did him in. Fresh garlic. You just crunch it right onto the bread there and stuff, and get it underneath the broiler and get it nice and golden brown. And that's the secret thing. Martin Scorsese. Yes,
that's it.
That guy. Yeah. Finally have to bail him out.
Anyway, this is his passion project that he's been working on for a while. It's based on a true story of a bunch of Native Americans who struck oil and become very rich.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, because 1, they're Native Americans, and 2, they're rich Native Americans, of course, guess who decides to move in there and, act all friendly?
That would be everybody.
Oh yeah, the white man, pretty
Pale
much.
skin, yeah.
Yes.
White boy.
So this movie is has some really great talent in it, like Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio.
All playing Indians, by the way.
No.
Oh, they're not.
As for the Native Americans in this, they're all like legit Native Americans. I think there's a bunch of them that are actually chiefs that are actually in this movie.
Well, they actually got Native Americans to play the Indians?
Oh, yeah. And this.
That's got to be a first for Hollywood. At least since Redbone, anyway.
I don't know what that is, but.
It's a little before your time. But go ahead.
But as for this movie, I will say basically what happens is the whole plot is there is some deaths. All Native Americans dying, and they can't figure out who's doing what. So you got a bunch of people, asking the president for help and to solve these murders, which surprisingly, it does happen. So anyway, let me. I'm trying. For some reason, I feel frazzled. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm just like I don't know what it is.
He's working injured today. He's got a little too for ache, but
yeah, but
and it's driving him to distraction right now.
But anyways, so Robert De Niro owns this cattle ranch on native land.
Mm-hmm.
He works closely with all the Native Americans, and they trust him. And some of them he saw grow up from kids to adults and stuff like that. His nephew comes to visit, which is Leonardo DiCaprio, who stays with him, offers him a job. Leonardo DiCaprio falls in love with the main character, who is this Native American woman, and together, it's her family that is being sacrificed the most because, again, all these deaths, and most of the deaths are from her family, and nobody can figure out why. I would love to tell you so much more without giving things away, but it's one of those things where it gets right into the middle of the story, and you're just like, hold on, I didn't know they were the bad guys. Or, hold on, I didn't know that this, why would they do this? This is just wrong. There's a lot of backstabbing, betrayal in this movie, of course, because of greed. And it gets really, really, man, on the edge of your seat. Just, you hope and pray that something good is actually going to happen. Which it does. Because, like I said before, the whole going to the president asking for help. Well, the female lead actually travels. The Native Americans saved up money. She went to Washington, asked for help. Next thing you know, and this is when the movie gets so interesting, the FBI gets involved.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no. It is so awesome. The FBI gets involved. And the way they just work their way around town, secretly, is just genius. Because they'll go to everybody and just start talking, having a good conversation, like they're friends with everybody. And then they meet up and be like, so this is what I found out. This, and this. And it all leads to the people that actually has been committing the murders. And, ooh. I mean, if you like good gossip and good, drama, I guess, you're just like, yeah, oh, ooh, type of deal. This movie is beautiful, amazing, and I could tell that Martin's passion for this project. He did such a great job. The acting is amazing. The characters in this is amazing. This is one of those stories that definitely should be told because it is all based on true story. They didn't piddle around like Hollywood does. It grabs you with the story, and you're just interested in seeing what happens. I went to the theater with a friend, Will. Will, shout out to Will because he watches us. He always sits there and
I will.
he always sits there and tells me, he's like, so that thing you was talking about, it's like he's insane.
I will.
But
You're insane, Will. You're crazy. You're deranged.
Well, we went to the theater to watch this movie, and there was a bunch of really elderly couples in this film. I mean,
Yeah,
not in the film, but in the theater.
Go ahead.
And there was like maybe two very young couples, like, I don't know, probably in their 20s. And they were all glued. They were like, oh, no, I can't believe that happened. Will somebody kill that guy? Stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah.
Don't worry, the FBI is involved.
Like, we're like, yeah, we're really into this. And no, I mean, that's the thing. Like, this is the first time I think I ever rooted for FBI and actually, they actually did things that made them look good.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, okay, so when is the people going to investigate all these murders? Because it didn't happen too good the first time around. And then they show up and they're just doing it very sneaky. And it's like, oh, I see what they're doing here. I like that. They even had a Native American man just show up out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, I came from so-and-so and, I'm looking for a place to stay and a job. So he got to know everybody in town. He was one of the FBI's. And it was like, oh, hey, it's great. Whoops, darn it, I gave something away. Sorry about that. But yeah, this movie is really, really good. If you like a good story, then I suggest you watch this. I believe it is from Apple. So if you have Apple Plus, I would say watch it there because of, and this is where you're going to hate it. Mm-hmm. It is a 3-hour movie.
I have nothing against 3-hour movies per se because, well, of course it's a 3-hour movie because, one, it's Apple. Apple attaches prestige to everything. So, of course, it's going to be 3 hours. And it's Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
The only guy more long-winded than Martin Scorsese in Hollywood is Stephen King.
Oh, I was going to say Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino's close second. There's Stephen King, then Martin Scorsese, then Quentin Tarantino. And then there's any of the Star Trek directors because it just seems like hours upon hours for their crap. Anyway.
Sure.
But the reason you saw those elderly couples is because they're the only ones anymore who know who Martin Scorsese is.
That is true.
I mean, look, what was Martin Scorsese's last project? You would know this better than me. What was the last thing he worked on?
Sadly, it was a movie that I believe went straight to Netflix. It was a mob boss movie that had the comeback of Joe Pesci, and they did the de-aging thing.
Yeah,
I think that was his last.
So a lot of the, I mean, you said you had a couple of younger couples there. There's always going to be a couple who somebody's going to have some kind of interest in it, and they'll be there. So that every once in a while you wind up on a young cinephile who's like, "Whoa, Martin Scorsese," and everybody else is like, "Who? Is he related to Martin Lawrence or something?" Or that
no, Martin Lawrence is.
That's sad too. And as for, this is one of those movies that pops in and out and nobody knows it's there until it's gone.
That is true. It is one of those movies that it's like it's hidden. Nobody really will probably even talk about it except like, the Oscars or Academy Awards or something like that. But this movie is really good.
How old is Martin Scorsese now? He's pushing. He's
I'm
deep in
gonna
his
say
70s, right?
I'm going to say 70s.
He's deep in his 70s. He'll get an Oscar for this. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and make a prediction. He gets an Oscar for this. Apple's going to score an Oscar. They're going to buy themselves an Oscar with this because guaranteed this is going to be either Martin Scorsese's last or next to last project that he completes, and they're going to feel obligated to give him one more before he kicks it. I know that's not very kindly way of putting it, but it's honest. So he'll probably score an Oscar out of this, of one sort or another. Probably Best Director Oscar for this. But so anyway, Chris, we're talking about Desert Fever here. Leonardo DiCaprio in Desert Fever. Let's give it a score. Rule of 5, with 5 being Saturday night with the date, 4 afternoon matinee, 3 on DVD, 2 on Netflix, 1 on Pluto, and 0 not even drunk. Where would you put Flowers Dead Moons?
Flower Dead Moon.
Mooning Killer Flowers. I don't know, whatever.
Flowers of the Killer Moon.
Yes, that one.
Is a very beautiful movie. I will have to say I will give this a 4.
A 4 out of 5. So,
yes.
So at least worth a matinee.
If you're interested in that type of thing,
unless you're dating a Scorsese fan,
yeah.
And then it's a 5. Or if you're dating some chick who's heavy into The Godfather, or there's been several. Skinwalker. I'm trying to think of some of the. Tony Hillerman used to do this all the time. This was his bread and butter, with doing mysteries set on an Indian reservation. But,
yes.
So, I actually tried watching. I think it was. I don't think it was Skinwalkers. It was one of the movies, and the beloved and I tried watching it, and we just had to stop because they were playing up the spooky spiritual, not the medicine man, but the more spooky aspects of Native American culture, and it just doesn't work in a mystery. Okay. Don't go do it. Don't get your supernatural peanut butter in my mystery granola, okay? It just makes a mess of everything. Peanut butter and granola go great together if you bake it in. Otherwise, boy, I don't know where in the world I'm going in. So anyway, 4 out of 5.
Yes.
For mooning the killer flowers. Now, I'm never going to get that right, and I don't care. God only knows what I'm going to put down when I actually post this online. I don't know what I'm going to wind up calling it, but I do write all those descriptions, by the way, so that's all my fault. So put your X in your Y and keep on geeking out. So, newsy stuff. Is there anything I need to know that I haven't already talked about?
Okay, so newsy stuff.
Quick newsy stuff.
First of all, I want to apologize to everybody because it wasn't that long ago that I said that the writer's strike has ended. I don't know what happened because apparently it's still going on.
Technically, the writer's strike is over, but now they're having sympathy pains for the actor's strike.
Oh,
that's
so
what happened.
that's okay. So that's the strike that's still going on.
Yes, that's one that's still going on. But the writer's strike will not cross the picket line for SAG-AFTRA. Which I swear I thought SAG-AFTRA was some kind of like aftershave or something. Anyway, but I do know that they almost got that settled, and then the nanny who runs SAG-AFTRA, believe it or not, I think she runs After Act. No, she runs the Screen Actors Guild. She got it in her head that everybody who pays for streaming will have to pay SAG-AFTRA $1 for them to decide what to do with. So for every Netflix subscription, you'd have to pay $1 every month to them. And if you do Hulu, you'd have to pay $1. And if you do, I don't know, like BritBox, you'd have to pay $1. Every paid thing, you'd have to pay $1, which means if you have 5 subscription services, you're being charged $5 a month. Now, precedent was set on that because SiriusXM went through that with the guys who represent like the song composers and musicians and stuff like that. And I am a SiriusXM subscriber, and we wind up having to pay like an extra $1.50 every month just to keep those hosers quiet so that we can keep listening to the songs we want.
Well, personally, I will pay $1 extra for good stories. But
no. good stories have nothing to do with this. The dollar extra is regardless. You're going to get the exact same crap you've been force fed all this time. You're just going to pay $1 extra for each streaming service. So there will be no better stories. No.
So that means I need to get rid of Disney Plus.
Right. Which
I'm not paying $1 for those.
I can't believe the new season of The Mandalorian just started on Disney Plus. I don't care. This is the first I heard about it was an ad on my Roku sitting on the side of the channel list. I had no idea the new I didn't know they were making a new season of The Mandalorian.
I have not heard.
It's now out on Disney Plus apparently, and I don't care.
Honestly,
even I'm burnt out on Baby Yoda.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and the third, I think I tried to get through 3 episodes, but they were so boring.
Mm-hmm.
And
all of Star Wars is like that. It's just boring as F, and it's just not worth the effort. But now you've got George Lucas cussing them up and down for trashing, for pretty much destroying Star Wars.
Of course.
I honestly think, and I'm not going to bet money on it, I honestly think George Lucas buys that back. And he's going to pay pennies on the dollar for it.
He should. Just buy it back. And well, he should keep the people that worked on The Mandalorian, because they seem to know exactly what they were doing.
Mm. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about Dave Filoni doesn't know what he's doing anymore. It's mainly Hap who knows what he's doing. So,
Anyways,
I
got some news. It's very short news.
Yay!
And this is probably technically the news that I have. Some of it is not what we typically talk about because I just find it interesting. So I just figured it out. But anyway,
that's right.
First news. If you have the best free streaming service ever, which is called Pluto TV, and you love the 90s great cartoon or 90s TV shows that came on Nickelodeon, well, guess what? Pluto TV is now has a, it didn't tell me the date that this dropped. I don't know if it's already on or if it's going to be on, but Pluto TV will be having a channel for the 90s Nickelodeon channel. So,
in other words, the good years.
Yes, they will have shows like Doug, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, Keenan and Kel. You know, all the
first 5 seasons of all that.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of the dark going to be on there?
It should be.
It better be.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
It better be.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
But
so, yeah.
Yeah, but Nickelodeon, boy, they just stubbed their toe when they hit the millennium. But it's just now Pluto TV is still our favorite free service.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Roku TV is coming up fast because they've signed a deal with Universal. And these are channels not available on Pluto. But I've talked before about the Universal Action, the Universal Mystery channels, which Universal Action started showing Knight Rider 24/7 for a week. Both of those channels, Universal Action, Universal Crime, do nothing but a marathon of one show from like Monday morning at 6 o'clock Eastern until the following Monday at 5:59 a.m. Eastern. So this week I think it was McCloud and Knight Rider. So, and I have no idea what's coming up, but they now have a TNBC channel for, I don't know if you remember TNBC. It came out in the 90s, early 2000s, but that's stuff like Saved by the Bell, but it goes beyond that because it includes a lot of the more family-friendly Universal sitcoms like Major Dad and a bunch of other things. So there's a bunch of teenage stuff hanging out over there too. And it's, like I said, it's on the Roku channel. It's on a few other streaming services, but I mainly see it on Roku. So, and you don't need a Roku to get it. So there's 2 good options. That's our 2 go-tos right now. Pluto, and if we don't see anything there, we go over to Roku. So,
well, there you go. Some good stuff.
And FRNDLY added some new channels. They finally picked up MeTV Plus. Okay, Okay, so now FRNDLY is the one that runs you about $9-10 a month, but it's got like 40 family. I'm going to say they're all family friendly, but 40 channels that are more or less family friendly, and plus Lifetime, Hallmark, and Vice. So you take your chances. But they did pick up MeTV Plus, which has a bunch of the old stuff that they don't have room for on MeTV. The big problem with MeTV is that they've got this successful lineup that draws such strong ratings, they don't want to move anything anymore. So then they got MeTV Plus, which is like their alternate feed, and that's where all the goofy stuff and the weird stuff and the cool stuff goes. So Alias Smith and Jones, and good golly, they do believe in westerns over on MeTV Plus. But it's fun stuff. Plus, if you want to watch cartoons on Sunday night about 8:00, MeTV Plus runs the MeTV Saturday morning cartoon block. So
Nice.
it's fun stuff. What else we got in the boozy stuff?
Okay, so
The boozy
again,
news.
I told you about this news.
Yeah.
Some of it I just find interesting.
Yeah.
So I just thought this was cool.
Yeah.
I just thought this was cool.
Yeah.
Now this is apparently a story from 2022, but it was just published this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bunch of millennials bought a abandoned high school for $100,000
Uh-huh.
and turned it into a 31-unit apartment building.
Good for them.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
Fantastic. I mean,
I just thought it was cool.
here's the thing. Okay, we're going to get into politics here a little bit, which is normally what we do on the tour of duty, but I just have not been in the mood to do tour of duty so far this year. Maybe I will at some point before the governor's election this year, but because I do need to talk to Andy Bashir or might tell him what I remember.
Oh,
Anyway,
uh-oh.
millennials are having a lot of trouble getting their feet on the ground. Gen Z's even worse. You poor saps. I feel so bad for you. But the millennials have been struggling to really get their feet on the ground, and it takes a group effort like that to come up with a creative solution. Here's the problem: governments establish zoning commissions to control construction because rich people like to look at trees, which means trees, you can either have trees or you can have a housing development for a bunch of new families. Rich people would rather have trees. We all know rich people run this country now, and only rich people run this country now. So we know the Constitution went away just about the time Ben Franklin said if you could keep it. That's a historian joke. Sorry. But yeah, this is quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised to see this happen a lot more often, because
Really cool.
especially things like, oh my goodness, Walmart and their big box stores. If you can get the government out of your way long enough to actually come up with creative solutions and implement them, hey, convert Walmarts into like little communities and stuff, little apartment buildings. Here in Mount Sterling, we had the old Mount Sterling High School, the old Miller Middle School. Well, it sat there vacant for a couple of decades until somebody finally got the gumption to get in there and tear all that asbestos out. That's why nobody wanted to touch it. But he had all the asbestos taken down, and then they refurbished it, and now it's an assisted senior living facility. And it's doing really well, apparently, from what I can see. So that's Sterling Meadows over on Maysville Street. So yeah, it's good to see people actually taking some gumption, and especially young people showing some gumption and doing creative things, because heaven knows we're not seeing a whole lot of creativity out of Hollywood. We're seeing even less creativity out of DC, or Marvel. So that takes care of the political part of the show, right?
Sure.
That's your. Anything else before we wrap this?
Well, I can still got. No, hold on.
Well, let's do rapid fire.
Okay.
Let's just
Okay.
knock
We'll do
them
it.
out.
We'll do it real quick. All right.
Quick.
So, you guys may have heard of the Disney's Snow White movie and the tragedy that is going on with that fire.
The dumpster fire that is So White and the Seven Dwarfs. So,
Yes.
yeah.
But it looks like Disney may have a contender that
this is almost political again. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know
Disney
what
might be in trouble. So, in case you have never heard of the Daily Wire, I always thought it was a news thing, but
They are primarily, yeah.
Apparently, they've been making some movies, and they have a movie coming out called Snow White and the Evil Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, from what it looks like, they're doing it the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, straightforward, no goofiness, no tricks, no phony baloney, BS points trying to score.
Yeah.
They're telling the story.
Yep. So now fans are getting whiff of this, and they're like, Disney, hello, you see what they're doing? Hey, what's wrong with you guys? That's pretty much what's happening. So, yeah.
Well, what's gonna happen? Disney's gonna put theirs. I don't know if Disney's still gonna put theirs out or not. I know they're pretty much on the hook from all the little side deals all the side hustles they did with So White and the 7 diversity hires. But the Ben Shapiro has been running Daily Wire as his little blog for years and years, and he started a podcast and it took off, and then he got a YouTube channel and it took off, and he's managed to parlay that into a minor film studio. So he's actually doing. I've actually saw one of his, and I can't remember which. For the life of me, I can't think of it right now. I might put it in the description if I can think of it. But he is getting involved in movie productions for a very simple reason. Nobody else is willing to stick to traditional storytelling. And he wants to do not necessarily family-friendly stuff, but he thinks the story should take the focus. So, especially if he agrees with the message.
All right.
So,
heck yeah.
And if it involves killing witches, then by golly, he's down with the struggle. So, what else we got?
All right. Disney, speaking of Disney, the troubles that they were having down in Florida, apparently Mr. DeSaints is moving from this whole Disney lawsuit and has told them, let's just move on from all this.
Yeah. Okay.
DeSantis.
The Saints. They're in New Orleans.
Which means that the Disney down in Florida was thinking about moving out of Florida, which means that the company may actually stay put in Florida now.
Actually, I'm not even going to say scuttlebutt because it just gets you dancing. But apparently Universal Studios is the huge competitor for Disneyland down there. I can never keep it straight. Is it Disneyland in Florida or Disney World? One's in California, one's in Florida, and it doesn't frickin' matter. It's the same place, just two different things. I think Florida gets to Epcot. I'm not sure. But Universal Studios is their huge competitor down there. From what I've heard, they just got their own autonomous political zone. So in other words, Universal Studios now has the sweet, sweet deal that Disney used to have on Disneyland. So now Universal is getting that sweet deal over the Universal Studios to help basically make it more cost effective to develop the area around there. So that's why Disney's sitting there gritting their little teeth and breaking their little mousy tail and stuff, because their sweet little deal is now gone and sitting in the enemy's hands. So, yeah. So,
all right, last story.
Yay!
This one.
Okay,
this one I love.
He loves this one. He does. He'd marry it and have little stories with it.
It's because of the nostalgia.
He'd marry it and have little paragraphs. Yeah.
Because of the nostalgia of this.
Come on. Nostalgia for Ratu. Yeah.
The nostalgia of the 90s, whatever. I just spit all over the place.
I just saw Svengoolie last night. They were doing the Night Stalker. The very first episode, the one from that aired in 1972, so it's like a 2-hour movie on ABC with goodness, I can't think of it. I was going to call him Gavin DeSantis, but no, it's Gavin. One from Christmas Story. The old man. I can't think of his name
Oh.
right now. Whatever. Gavin no, it's not Gavin McLeod. It's something. You know who it is. Just yell at the camera. I'll hear you. Anyway. But apparently they're expanding the Svengoolie-verse because now they have a chick named Gwen Gooley instead of Svengoolie. So you got Svengoolie and Gwen Gooley. And Gwen Gooley, I guess, they've been doing double features lately. So Svengoolie does the first feature. I guess she now hosts the second feature that comes on after it. Last night it was Godzilla, King of the Monsters with the old fudge packer himself, Raymond Burr. And but she's got her own little sidekick, and that's where Nostalgia Ferratu's hanging out and stuff. So it's good to see them expanding that. But so I guess they've been doing a search for spawn of Svengoolie for about a year now with people doing tryouts. I'm guessing they're finally picking some people, but I don't know exactly what the latest information is. But any chance to get more old curated stuff, I'm down with the struggle.
Yeah.
But back to nostalgia, 90s nostalgia over here.
All
right, your favorite.
Here we
news of the
go.
week, yes.
Are you guys ready for this?
Are you sitting down?
You standing up?
Everything
You're standing up, sit down.
is $5. It's a 90s reference.
Toys R Us is coming back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Toys R Us is opening up since 2000 stores opening in the United States. Toys R Us is coming back, ladies and gentlemen.
Probably
Don't wanna
partnering
grow
with
up.
somebody.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
So who are they partnering with then? If they're going to open 2,000 locations, because I know they don't have the funding for that.
From what I heard, it was somebody who bought the shares of what they
What was
had
left of Toys
and
R Us.
decided to branch it back.
Do you realize somebody owns most of the shares of Blockbuster Video?
Then what the heck are they doing with that? They need to take that and do what Toys R Us did.
You know where it went?
No.
Okay, I'm trying to remember this. Okay, because this has been a little while. Don't hold me to this, but I believe Blockbuster wound up being owned by one of the Hollywood studios. I'm thinking Viacom, but I'm not sure. But it's gotten the Blockbuster IP is now sitting with one of the Hollywood studios. I think it might even be with CBS right now, and they have no idea it's there. It's been sitting there just dormant for 2 decades. They have no idea what they own. They own Blockbuster Video. So if Toys R Us is coming back, that's what, honestly, if CBS Viacom did wind up with the Blockbuster property, that's probably what they should have called Paramount Plus, was Blockbuster. Just to get people discussing it, because it definitely would have generated buzz with a whole bunch of us geeks online and stuff.
Listen, I'm not even playing. If Blockbuster decide to reopen video stores, I'm going to call them up and be like, listen, we need one here in Kentucky. I will run this. I will do anything. Just let me have it.
That's another story that's going around, that Walmart's getting rid of their physical media. Remember, I've been telling you need to buy the DVDs, the Blu-rays, the CDs and stuff, because when it comes to streaming, they can screw with it. Walmart is getting ready to do away with it. There was another company that was going to do away with it. It wasn't Target. It was somebody. But retailers are starting to walk away from the physical media because there's not really the sales there. The hilarious thing is, vinyl is still selling like gangbusters at Walmart, but DVDs aren't. So everybody's going with their streaming stuff. And I'm telling you, there are certain things where, like, it's Blazing Saddle syndrome. If you want to see the real Blazing Saddles, you got to get it on DVD now before they start altering that thing, because they will alter the absolute heck out of it. I would actually love to remake Blazing Saddles. I would. I would absolutely slam you into a director's chair, and we'd start doing Blazing Saddles shot for shot, just for the fun of it. And we'll go around and we will just grab every underappreciated actor in Hollywood and just start throwing them at it, and just like, here, go, 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 go. But we're gonna change it so that all the ignorant white people are now black, and all the suave black people are now white and Jewish. That's right. Sheriff Bart needs to be a Jew. We'll make all the ignorant people of Rock Ridge.
Be careful.
Gaza Ridge. There you go. There you go. We don't even need Blazing Saddles. We'll do Blazing Saddles, but we'll set it in the Middle East, and we'll just ride the rocket right on over from the IDF straight on into the Gaza Strip.
I see doom all over the place.
No. That was more in the 90s.
I'll tell you what. Listen, I don't know about the DVD sales, but I will tell you this: in January, I'm dropping $100 on the Super Mario Brothers 4K, and I'm talking about the '90s Super Mario Brothers movie.
This one right here got super excited because at court day he found something. He actually found something at court day. And I've been hearing court day didn't go over so well because, of course, all the people in charge of the thing talking about how great it was, and everybody else talking about how few things there were. What did you find at court day before we sign off?
Well, I found 8 movie posters.
The big full-size, full sheet
These
ones.
things are huge.
The theatrical ones, yeah.
And I spent $40 on the box set of the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
On DVD.
Yep.
See, now he owns it forever, and they can't take that away from him.
I picked that baby up, and there was a bunch of movies there. But I saw that, I was like, oh. And as soon as I picked it up, one of the guys was like, "That's so hard to find." I was like,
"Yeah." That's why you kept it. So I figured I'd let him go out with a little bragging. So anything else? Anything else, Mr. Papa?
Nope.
All right. So until next time, boys and girls, y'all keep your noses clean. I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
And y'all keep on geeking out.
Ta-da.
Bye.
So you want to do this next time?